Greetings! My name is Joelle and I am the Viberarian. I am here to enlighten, empower, and elevate you with information that I trust that you will find uplifting and helpful to you on this journey to ascension that we are all on. I came on today because I wanted to do a reading. I actually did this reading for myself, but I had to share it with the collective because it was so beautiful. And this is my first reading on the channel with this beautiful deck of cards that I want to introduce to you today. These are the God cards for men, embodying divine masculine through ancient and modern archetypes by Richard the Grateful Bear and illustrated by Davin Infinity. I saw this deck several months ago on a Facebook post and I went ahead and ordered them, and they're absolutely beautiful cards. I've only done a couple readings for myself with them, and I decided it was time to definitely break it out because I am on this journey of ascension, and as a twin flame and beloved, it is all about coming into balance and harmony with all the aspects of myself. That means looking at my feminine and my masculine. The feminine in terms of the intuition and the Sophia, the knowledge and wisdom, the balance of feminine and masculine, the magnetic and the electric. So in terms of my masculine energy and myself, I'm truly embodying that as a balanced way of being, because as I come into union with all that I am and can be inside, then I manifest my reflection out in the world. So as I'm looking at the ways that I have to embody the actions that I do in my life each day, the drive, the focus, and the motivation, the fire, the wands, if you're familiar with the tarot, the wands, the energy of moving forward with the seeds and intentions that are given to me by the divine, that really is how I am being out in the world. So in introducing these cards, let me just share with you, Richard writes, masculine in itself is an archetype of gender and is by no means reserved for any specific gender declaration. Men, women, and every other gender identity can benefit from this deck. It is my hope that you experience a little more heaven on earth by embodying a unique archetypal blend of the masculine aspects of God too. One or more of the archetypes represented here will be very familiar to you. Some will feel foreign, like a fish out from water. Try them on and take them off. Contemplate one on a coffee break, Sunday meditation, weekend adventure, or during a prolonged vision quest. Try on their virtues and attributes. Listen and watch for their appearance in others. Test your skills and learn new ones. Adepts are invited to draw in tarot-style readings, witness and observe your archetypal mix as it shifts and transforms throughout the day. He advises to keep a journal and lifetime scroll as you move through the deck. Both will prove to be a fascinating read one day and sure to make a difference in someone's life. Make this a personal experiment of active participation and mindful perception where you surrender, succumb, succeed, or stampede into the divine masculine you have always wanted to be. On this divine journey with you, I am a very grateful bear. Beautiful message from the author. Now, each of these cards are very intense, okay? So what he describes in this deck, this is, a beautiful tour of it for those of you who are interested in reaching out to it. On each card, there are three things: a way to embody the energy of masculinity that is presented to you, how to engage with it, and then an affirmation. So he says in the embody section, this section offers tips, perspectives, inquiries, and other insights that may or may not resonate with your life of experiences, feelings, and natural skills associated with the name archetype. In other words, various aspects of the archetype that come naturally to you and have already been integrated into your life are embodied. For example, riding a bicycle requires embodying balance and physical motor skills through practice and engagement. Another example is when a musician first learns to embody, a melody of music. They usually find it much easier to manually play or engage the music through an instrument later. The more we engage, the more we embody unfamiliar skills and talents. The more we embody something, the easier it is to engage it. You may already feel the energy of a card deep in your bones and now have a way to articulate your experience of it. It might also be unimaginably alien to you. It may serve you to do deep, intensive research and self-reflection on the more unfamiliar or repulsive aspects presented in the archetype. Have a journal handy throughout this adventure to make notes, doodles, and other markings of your experiences. You will also have many opportunities to embellish a lifetime scroll depicting a linear history of your life by the year. Start with an 8-inch by 20-foot long roll of paper. Draw a horizontal timeline beginning with the year of your birth. Outline each year of your life in bullet point rows of vertical details as suggested throughout the deck. Leave plenty of room between years to add more details, pictures, etc. later as you remember and contemplate more and more significant moments that happen throughout your life. You can always insert or add more paper as needed. Now, for the engage part of how to take this energy. There are questions and suggestions for inquiry, activities, and challenges to help embody the benefits of the archetype. If you already have experience with the energy or attribute, invent your own challenge. You may feel called to help another have their first experience with the archetype. The key here is devoting time to have many different physical experiences as far away from electronic devices as possible. You will never be able to ride a bike by playing a video game, watching movies, or reading books about it. You must engage. Get on, push off, pedal, feel the balance. Fall a few times and keep trying it over and over again. Once you get it, you will have embodied it for life. Some of these challenges you may excel in, some you won't ever want to do again. One thing is for sure, you will vastly expand your experience of doing, being, and having the self-discovery of divine masculine along the way. You are fully responsible for your actions. If you choose to try a dangerous activity suggested here or make up any of your own, for the love of God, please be safe and sane when exposing yourself and others to any potential risks. Review the warning on the box cover. Okay, for the legal disclaimer. Now, the affirmation, he says, is a suggested phrase to help you attune to the essence of the card. Repeat it often like a mantra or craft one of your own. Okay, so in terms of this energy, I did pull 2 cards yesterday, and I will draw one live today as part of this reading. So the reason that I wanted to share them is because they immediately touched something in me. So the first card that I drew is the card Sufi. Now, immediately I knew that the Sufi is about the whirling dervishes, and they are the ones that spin and dance. And the message says, "My beloved divine." To be beloved is such a cherished way of expressing love. It really embodies an energy that is deeper than just a superficial way. If something is beloved, it is deeply connected to you and personal. And we are absolutely moving into a place to fall into love with our own self, to become beloveds for Each of us, through our own interpersonal acceptance and showing of unconditional love. Now, the things that struck me, okay, there's several aspects of this energy on the card. We have this beautiful kind of like Taj Mahal. We have the planets and the full moon. You can see here this beautiful vortex and spiral of energy that is created from this dervish whose hands are outstretched. We have a beautiful kind of sacred space with these keyhole archways, and you see the arms outstretched in openness. And there is an observer here to this particular dance, which is quite interesting. And then also you'll see down here are camels, it looks like, or some kind of, yeah, they look to be camels on the desert, which is quite interesting. So here is the information. Also, this was really cool because the day before that I drew this card about the dancing, this is really about the sacred dance that moves the spirit. Several friends and I were sitting around, we were cooking our dinner, and we were listening to music and got to dancing and giggling in just the most lighthearted way, having fun, moving our feet and our arms, snapping our fingers. So the energy of dance absolutely resonated at that time when this card came up. So the guidance is embody. Excuse me if it does not come into focus for you. I'll definitely do my best to try to make it for you. But my trifocals are calling me to have a clearer view for myself. So here it says, and I'll just leave this here for us to look at. From the deep out of the ancient deserts of the Holy Land, the age-old mystery of the heart and soul is revealed in Persian classical poetry. Rumi, Hafiz, Omar Khayyam are the more recognized and widely translated master poets. Rich are their writings that fan the flames of our emotions, transporting us into the very depth of our soul. It is here in the inner holy landscape where the Sufi's devotion to the truth of divine love embraces a direct personal experience with God. The Sufi is, in effect, transcending the melting pot of Orthodox religion and all its intellectual fervor, superstition, and dogma. Sufi knows that when we fastidiously hold on to orthodoxy, we can become imprisoned by it, often imprisoning everyone else in our immediate surroundings too. The intellectually barring of our abilities to feel the direct presence of God living here with us right now is the worst kind of prison. We don't even know we are in it. Sufi reminds us to focus into the heart where the living God dwells, where we fall into a drunken love of God, with God, dare we say, as God, because the boundary between self and the beloved collapses into oneness. How beautiful. We are absolutely looking to become one, not just with all that we are, but with all those that we encounter, and to see the one spirit that dwells in all of us, regardless of our culture, our race, our age, our upbringing. Within us all beats the same heart of love and the same spirit that animates us. Beautiful, beautiful guidance. Now, the way to engage the Sufi energy. Watch some video of a whirling dervish. And dervish is D-E-R-V-I-S-H. Watch some video of a whirling dervish practicing the active meditation of Sama. That's S-A-M-A. Pay particular attention to the footwork used while they spin. Try this yourself on an open, smooth floor, barefoot or in dance shoes. Find which foot is a more natural pivot as you slowly rotate to the left or to the right. Begin feeling your vertical core move about its axis. Close your eyes to help find your balance. Adjust the lean of your neck, shoulder, and arms. Once you find your balance, slowly build momentum by using one foot to propel a longer spin about the pivoting foot. Interesting. Tilting your eye line level with the horizon, gently part your eyelids, peeking in a little light. Maintain a soft focus as your eyes relax, open, observing the moving world as streaks of color and light. Play with shifting your perspective, imagining that you are stationary and the world is spinning around you. Experiment with your arms by slowly reaching out, up or down, or held in close and tight. With practice, the spin will become effortless, allowing the spiral dance to become a meditation where you can experiment with both a clockwise or counterclockwise spin. When you are ready to pause, begin slowing down little by little by little. Keeping a very soft, daydreamy focus, resist allowing your eyes to fix on any objects. Let yourself keep rotating, allowing inertia to wane and your feet to slow down. Finally, you are in a very lazy spiral, coming to an imperceptibly slow and natural rest. You will know the spin down pace was appropriate because you're not dizzy and feel more centered and connected to your inner Sufi. And the affirmation is, my beloved divine. Now, I will tell you, as I have watched the dervishes on YouTube and even thinking about twirling around and round, my grown-up 47-year-old self says, oh my goodness, I don't know if my stomach can take all this, but I am going to do this as a trust exercise with plenty of space for me to maneuver at some point today, because this is about moving into energy that may be unfamiliar as a way to expand myself. And I absolutely am all about figuring out where I can push myself beyond my perceived limits of how far I think that I can go. So this is beautiful. I also know one of the channels that I watch is Divine Love Crystal Grid. Nikki, she is beautiful. She does so much work for the twin flames and those who are on a soul-to-soul journey. And the last 2 days, dance has come up in her channeled messages that she received. So even if I'm not spinning around and round, I definitely am going to move my feet and get up and get out of my seat at some point today and see if I can find a sacred connection to this energy within my body. I absolutely embrace this challenge. Okay, now let's see here. So the next energy that I'm going to be looking at that came from our reading yesterday is also very beautiful. The card is King. I can empower you. Now, the things that I am seeing as I look at this energy, first of all, we have here some kind of divine orb or like a aurora borealis coming from the higher realms over the mountaintop. And here, this is so beautiful. I immediately recognize the pyramid, the Grand Pyramid of Chichen Itza, which is in Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula, which is a place that is full of beautiful energy. I have been to Chichen Itza many times, including at the equinox, which is when you can see the phenomenon of the pyramid when the shadow of the serpent-feathered god Kukulkan, the sun god Kukulkan, as it descends and rises at the equinox points. And so in seeing this come up, and I can see here, it looks to be like an angel or angelic presence on top. And then we have this very kind of far east with the lion gate. Again, a lion, kingly lion dragon energy here, and this red of root chakra and empowerment. And of course, then on the crown, we have the activated third eye. And here we can see the Merkaba, or the balance of the masculine feminine in the light body, embodied over his crown chakra. I also see here the sword. It says to me the sword of truth and justice here. And it's almost like a light and a lamp illuminating and standing as protector. So the energy here says, I can empower you. I absolutely receive the support of my masculine side, my God self in masculine form that is embodied within me. And through that connection with the Father energy, I receive that, and I am excited about the ways that this energy can be used for all the many things that I have going on right now. It is such a beautiful thing to know that I am supported and empowered. So the energy here about embodying says, beloved leader whose iron fists are tempered by his heart of pure gold and balls of solid brass. The king keeps his cool when others lose it. He is mature, integrated, calm, and centered, yet explosively responsive to a situation. Where force and fury are warranted, the king archetype is courteous, capable, and courageous. Bringing heaven to earth by example through the ability to empower others, a king excites fertility, inspires creativity, proclaims blessings, establishes order, and is the consummate provider and protector. Clinical studies show how our bodies chemically alter when we are acknowledged, valued, praised, inspired, or in other words, blessed by our parents, peers, beloved, bosses, and elders. Imagine the feeling of being knighted by your king. Know where you are in your evolution from a sage to a king. Allison A. Armstrong provides a unique perspective in her book, Keys to the Kingdom. As a functional member of your local community and fellow conscious global inhabitant, adopt the kingdom where you already have influence to help stem the dissolute ways of the uninitiated boys and young men from growing up lost, disparate, and often violent adults. This is beautiful. I think that's hilarious because he says a heart of gold and balls of brass. I mean, this is very definitely different energy. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to have a deck that is made from a masculine perspective. So often than not, we see the divine feminines and female energies out here talking about what is happening with the masculine, and yet it is not necessarily from an integrative point. And so I think there's really something important to having straight from the horse's mouth, if you will, the energy of what divinity means, because it is absolutely different from that of the feminine. And yet that is why we are coming together to be able to merge the knowledge contained from both of those experiences. I also love how it says that he is a beloved leader whose iron fists are tempered by his heart of pure gold. We are moving out of the energy of the patriarchy, which was smashing things at any cost and conquest and domination. And we are moving into a time when there will be more balance because the heart will be more involved in our everyday decision making. And it will be more of a consciousness that is arising on the planet, that we will be more compassionate and more balanced than we have been in any time in the last several thousand years. All right. So as we engage, it says, take note. Who are your loyal subjects? Who do you influence with your actions and words? Who comes to you for protection or provision? Who seeks your words of guidance, wisdom, praise, and inspiration? Who comes to you hoping to fill a bottomless pit of need without any possibility of growth or empowerment? Who has benefited by the integration of your attention, resources, and guidance, going on to propagate a wholesome legacy? Learn to rule your kingdom by establishing clear and strong, yet navigable boundaries. The application of boundaries include physical, psychological, and psychic hard lines in the sand and softer fields of cooperation. Seek insights into any boundary that has been compromised or overimposed. Be quick to ascertain the potential in alliances with both the mature and immature. Be vigilant for and available to the very next one who shows up seeking an audience with your king. And the affirmation is, I can empower you. This is absolutely beautiful. A lot of us have been going through a place where we are looking at the relationships that we have with our coworkers, our friends, and family. And in some cases, we are making moves to remove some of those energies that are not aligned with our vibration out of our kingdoms, as he would refer to it. This can be somewhat of a challenging situation for us, and something absolutely that but is necessary, because you do not want to stand in any energy that is going to limit you or cause you to drain your resources. Okay, so as a last card here, I'm going to go ahead and draw one more card for us today to see what additional guidance wants to come through about our masculine energy that we are called to embody and engage with in this particular time. I absolutely love this deck, and I'm so grateful for Richard the Grateful Bear, and I am so excited because I'm hoping to be able to have him for an interview on my show on BlogTalkRadio with the Psychic Inside show. He is a perfect guest because I'm very curious as to his shaman journey and how he came into creating this beautiful tool for us. Okay, so let us see what the energy of right now is. I am growing up. Boy, and I am growing up. This is so beautiful. I'll try to focus here. We have so much healing that we are doing with our inner child. The things that we were taught as a child, the experiences that we had that sometimes were not positive, we are looking at how we can resolve those. And here, I love this picture because this young boy he's just so excited, and it is beautiful because we are really called to go back into that childlike innocence before we learned that life was hard and challenging, to really be able to open-heartedly embrace this journey that we are moving on, instead of feeling the toil and the labor and the hurt, to release it and heal ourselves back. The energy here is such a purple energy, which that is that of Saint Germain, and the violet flame, which an amethyst, which also talks about moving through healing and transmuting that energy. I'm also struck by the golden sunlight that is just shining through in different aspects of this particular card. So here's this open road. Okay, so embody. The first 7 years are critical in our development as children. Maturing boys and girls are often confounded during hormonal development, overcome by emotions, hypersensitivity, and hyperactivity. A boy begins to differentiate from a girl with the discovery that he has what not everyone else does, a penis. Faced with an onslaught of social conditioning, a boy's identity is hammered by mass media, peer pressure, sibling rivalry, and expectations from mom, dad, teachers, and coaches. His internal guidance gets short circuited with debilitating cliches such as big boys don't cry, only sissies run from a fight, and other dysfunctional programming. Around the puberty ages of 11 to 15, he's getting stronger, more cunning, and defiant. Modern parents often resort to psychological abuse or slapping their boys into good behavior. Conscious parents acknowledge the boy is ready for passage into manhood. Traditionally, the men of the community would come untangle the boy from the mother's apron strings and take him away for initiation. The boy would be tested, poked, prodded, brutalized, or sent off into wilderness to fend for himself. He would observe his father, uncles, and older brothers with the larger group of initiated men and taught the many roles of manhood adopted by the tribe. Returning to community, he's forever transformed and held accountable as a maturing young man. This is so interesting because, as a young girl, our experience is in coming to terms with what is expected of us and our bodies and our roles. A lot of times we are at odds with the young boys. I mean, how many times have we, remembering times when we were teased and when we were on the playground and things happened to us? Well, understanding that there is that old mantra that hurt people hurt people. So as we were struggling to come into identity with our young feminine selves, then there were these boys who were also struggling to come into their own balance. And maybe there were times when some of us just did not appropriately respond to things in the way that we could. So, having compassion for those shared experiences that were each painful in their own way in terms of our development. And we can even tap into our own past lives when we were embodying a different gender than we are in this current life. And we can access those hurts and harms as well to clear them because we certainly experienced it. There is no singularity. All of us are experiencing growth through many incarnations, okay? So it says here to engage. Today, the initiation from boy to man is all but forgotten. Overtones are found in youth team sports, scouting, gang initiations, fraternity hazing, and military boot camp. We see emotionally immature men in positions of authority and influence who are nothing more than overgrown boys, burning down the village at every turn. The wisest of which retaining some shred of respect for the guidance and intelligence of women. Can you remember when you first saw yourself as a boy distinct from a girl? When, how, and by whom was boy defined to you? Had you ever harassed a girl or a quote-unquote sissy boy? Maybe you were bullied in that way. Did you align with alpha boys who accepted and put you in your place? Perhaps you secreted away to a softer world apart from the expected behavior of boys. What events relating to your identity as a boy happened around puberty? Do you have any involvement in gang activities, scouting programs, team sports, or the ROTC? Were you initiated by life circumstances that force you to grow up too fast? Perhaps you are at the age of initiation or have never had one. Research an appropriate men or boys initiation program and do it. If you have already done one, try another. If you are feeling extra daring, seek the reflection of several trusted women and ask how they perceive your emotional maturity and what your boy to man ratio is. Do the same with several trusted men. Remember that the innocence, playfulness, and imagination of the boy are priceless attributes to a long, youthful, and happy life. Just stop burning down the village out of boyish irresponsibility. Every Peter Pan must face his morality and mortality sooner or later. Functional boyhood is the gateway to functional manhood. And the affirmation is, I am growing up. Wow, this is really heavy. I think it's very key to say that you have to engage with trusted peer groups, because if you're looking for, say, a way to see whether you are embodying a healthy manhood, you don't want to ask a group of women who are at a certain vibration whether you are embodying that or not, because the answer will be, of course not, because they would be projecting their own expectations and ideas onto you based out of their own hurt and wounds of their experiences that they have had with the masculine gender. And you also would want to make sure that you're not connecting with a group of men who are embodying a pack mentality, or who are almost bullying, or are not tolerant of the more balanced and sensitive maturity that you have. That's so important if you are seeking external kind of confirmation or to do work through that group dynamic. I do think that it is very important right now for us to unlock any things from our childhood that are changed, because we are in a time and place where we are moving through the old templates and the expectations that were placed on us, and we're moving out of those unhealthy dynamics and moving into a new paradigm to embody a way of being that is going to be so much healthier for us as individuals, and certainly more healthy for the planet. So I keep hearing boys to men, keep on learning, keep on growing. These are the things that change boys to men. Beautiful cards from this deck today. I thank you for tuning in. Let's, looking at these cards. I plan to do more readings from this deck because I love the energy of this. This is quite interesting guidance, and it's much different from anything I'm encountering from any of my other decks that I currently have at this time. So I wish each of you a beautiful day, and as you're working with this energy going forward and looking at ways that your masculine is called into activity, that it be just beautiful for you and for those who are receiving the energy that you are putting out into this world. I send each of you so much love and light, and I ask that the blessings of the divine continue to spill into your cup so that you can be overflowing. Namaste.